Well, hi there, folks. This is your host, AG Jester. Welcome back to our Look at Fantasy Grounds. Hopefully, you've been able to check out our previous episodes. We showed you a basic overview of the system, how it works with the DDI builder, how to set up little counters and information that you're going to use in your campaign. Let's look at a few other quick things here first, and then we're going to look at some combat here. So let's go back to our Dungeon Master view here and keep the player window up a little bit higher so I can get to it when I need to. We still have our player logged in, and you can see that for whatever reason we don't have the screen. There we go. Maybe I closed the map to reposition it. Could have been. Alright, so you notice when the player has now been shared this, they can actually close it out and actually bring it back up. There you go. So the player does have a little bit of options once they get the different maps and stuff. Okay, so first things first, since Zara here is a Drow Hunter female, we're going to fix these icons. I don't like them, so we're not set up for that. So let's set it up. So first things first, I downloaded this nice picture, and that's what we're going to use for her portrait and for her token. So I'm going to change it to gold, a 256, thank you. And now I just need to move that out of the way and capture a screenshot of this portrait. There we go, boom. Excellent. So now we will make her a nice token. Once we have this token, we won't have to ever do that again, so that's cool. There we go. So we're going to save the token. Again, I'm just going to do it to my desktop. Desktop. We'll call this Drow Female. Male, thank you. Alright, so we got our token done. Now what we need to do is create her portrait, so her portrait's going to match. What we can do here is just simply take the picture and open it with Paint. Alright, so there's a nice Paint program. First thing we're going to do is kind of make it square, because if it's not square, then we're going to run into issues when we resize it here in a minute. So we're going to make it square-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can tell it's longer than it is wider. So we're going to crop that. And in fact, we're actually going to crop it slightly a little bit more to make it just slightly there. That's probably good. So what do we need to know about portraits? So not a lot. All I have to do is come in here, click on portraits, and it brings up our little portraits. All of our portraits we have. You can see we don't have any good Drow, but you can see we can click on the folder here, which will bring up our folder that we're storing all of our portraits into. And if we just simply click on these, we can see the dimension of these default ones are 63 by 63. So what we're going to do is we're just simply going to go back into Paint here, and we're going to resize this to, oh yeah, we're pretty close. We'll do 63, there we go. And we're going to save that. So now, all I have to take is drag our portrait to our folder that has our portraits in it. Now, we click on portrait. You'll see there she is. And we'll choose this one, and it'll switch her. There's Zara. And of course, now we just go into the tokens, and we actually haven't imported that yet, so let's do that. Let's go back to up, 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 go up. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Tokens, top. No, that's because we are actually on the player view. So this is just the players. I have to go back to the DM. Duh. There we go. Now we go to the GM folder. Actually, we're going to put this in the shared folder. And we're going to share our token with our players. So now we'll go to back to the player screen. And they bring up their tokens. No? Why is that not showing? I wonder if it's because he's already logged in. Let me make sure in the DM here. Does the DM have access to it? Drow, D-R-O-W, thank you. There's our token. So I must have dragged it into the wrong folder. Shared. Yes. That's alright, I can just assign it for the player, and then we don't have to worry about it. So I can bring up Zar's thing, and just drag that over there. There we go. Excellent. So we fixed that little problem. Not that it was a problem, but for me it was an issue. So you can see we need to delete this token here, and we'll add Zara there. Excellent, much better, because now obviously the quality doesn't look exactly right with that. Looks much better over here. Let's see, did I do something wrong? Let's go back into our tokens. Let's just drag that. Yeah, see, it looks much nicer there. Alright, Zara. There we go. Now, if we drag this down. There we go. Alright, much better. Not sure what I did wrong the first time, but there we go. So now we have a nice character for Zara. Matches her icon up here, so it's a little easier for everybody to see which characters are which. Okay, and she's in the initiative tracker, yes? Alright, so now we're going to actually deal with combat situations here. So, Tainted Bat here. We can simply drag up the flag here and show us that we are now in combat. And all the information you can see about the creature or the character will show up. You can actually see more information by hitting this. Shows you basically their offensive abilities. That's offense. This is who they're targeting. This shows you their defensive stats. This shows you their size and reach. And of course, any effects that are going on them. And of course, if you want to look at more information, you can click on that box, as we know. And you can get all the information about that character. Of course, you have some multiple tabs over here. So you have a 5x attack at will. Fly 6 squares. It makes one melee basic attack at any point during the movement. It doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it moves away from the target. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it is Tainted Bat number 1's turn. So he is over here. So basically this is like a stairs coming down from the top level. And so the bat is going to go, let's see here. So what we want to do is get rid of that. So lots of information you can look at on the screen here. So the bat's going to go 1, 2, 3, and with our grid it's hard to see. Actually, let's make them a little bit larger, I think. We're going to unlock our layer here. Release token scale. Whoa! So now you can see I've actually using the tokens I use for other gaming with this as well. So now we'll lock the token scale. There we go. That's a little, whoops. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. Alright. So, I'm a perfectionist. I like to keep things well underhand. So now the bat is flown up there. He's 5 feet away and he's going to do a bite. Now, as I had mentioned, combat here with Fantasy Grounds. Very exciting and lots of different ways you could do things. So the bat can actually target one of the PCs. In this case, we'll assume it is Zara here, because that way you can see what the player sees. And of course, the player sees everything in real time as you move things around. So the bat here is going to do an attack on Zara. And so he can left click to target him, but it's kind of hard to actually see the targeting. There's multiple ways to do this. You can left click to target. There's kind of like a little shadow effect, but it doesn't really show up. You can just barely see it based upon the size of the tokens and stuff you're using. Another way to do this is if you're going to be attacking someone, and this is the way I would prefer to do it, is I'm basically going to just take this, and instead of just rolling it out here, I'm going to take it and I'm going to drop it on top of this character, and you will see what happens. Nothing, because she's not in the initiative. Right? Is that what happened? Hang on a second, folks. Okay, folks, sorry about that. Yeah, had a little issue there, and, well, I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on, and simple enough that, like, for example, if I go into characters and I drag characters to the screen, they don't actually get added to the combat tracker. So what I had to do was add them to the combat tracker, and then simply you're going to drag these over. And once you do that, we're just going to delete these extra tokens at this point. Once you do that, you will see they will get their little dots or whatever next to them. And that way you can target them and you can roll dice and all that. So I had to redo initiative here. We're just going to assume it's Tainted Bats. Oops, somehow I lost our character here. There we go. Let's move her back there. There we go. So the bat flew up there, and it is now going to use his bite attack against our Zara. Let's give her an initiative. Let's say 15. There we go, and you can see I could just quickly adjust things as need be. So he flew up there, he's going to take a bite at her. So now all I have to do is take it, and of course I could just take it and roll it over here. Or I can, when you hover over a creature that's actually in the combat, you will notice, let me zoom in a little bit here. Actually what I'm going to do is take away, let's turn off the grid so it's a little easier for us to see. What was I saying now? Can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so it's the bat's turn here by the initiative here. We'll just assume these guys do nothing on their turn. And it plays out just like normal combat. So I can target the enemies. But one of the easiest ways to actually do that is to take the dice and just bring it over on top of the character, and you can see it will roll the dice. I'm going to slide this stuff over a little bit so we can look. And it says an attack of 8 versus Zara is a miss. So we rolled a 2, added the automatic 6 for the attack, compared that to our character's armor class, and already decided it was a miss. So then he's going to continue flying and end up over there. So simply just go to the next character, and we got another Tainted Bat here. This one is Tainted Bat number 2. This is why having this on another screen would be kind of easier. let's see if we can adjust this. Probably not so much. We can adjust the map a little bit though. And we would have to zoom out and adjust. There we go. So we can kind of see what's going on. There we go. So Tainted Bat number 2, and of course, like I mentioned, you can click on this, you can get all the information. It's got blind sight, perception. If you needed to do any kind of checks or anything, you can see their stats. If it has any special attacks, its armor class, yada yada yada. So it's going to take a move action here, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to do a flyby attack. This time against Zara again. So it's going to come here, try and grab her. So again, I can just take this and drop the dice down in there, and again, it is a miss. And then he'll finish his move up and move over there. One of the things I did do is disconnect the other player because I was wondering if that was interfering with what was going on. Of course it wasn't, but so basically what I've learned so far, Fantasy Grounds is really, really cool, really, really good, but it just takes you a little bit of time to get used to it. And so Zara, we will be Zara. There we go. So of course we have to re-share with you. There you go. Alright, so this is the player's view. So when you hover over a monster here, if he actually clicks on the combat tracker, and you can disable some of this stuff in the options menu, but it'll show you if they're healthy or whatever, and you can turn on or off whether or not they can see the little dots. In fact, I had that option up a little bit ago, and now that's the calendar. There's the options there. So I can actually adjust the options. I didn't think I could. So you can see that you can allow, probably should do this from the DM side. So let's do that. Alright, so bunch of different options here. You can chats, combat here. So you can have the PC's auto initiative as group, NPC numbering. You can append it. You can auto have it roll the saving throws. So you can turn that on for the NPCs, or turn it off, turn it on, however you want. You can ring a bell when it's the player's turn, just so they bing, they know it's their turn. You show the effects. You can have it stop at the start of the next round. Show the health to clients so they can see friendly, or they can see nothing. They can see everything. And then of course the wound categories. You can have it detailed or simple. So simple would be like healthy, wounded, dying, dead type categories, and detailed would be a little more specific of that. So you can have it show any effects, show any ally health. So we can have it from a dot. We can have it to a dot hover, which means you don't see anything until you move your. You can see it kind of clears everything up. But if you mouse over, you can. Oh, okay, all right, I see who's healthy, who's not, just by hovering over it. You can do it by a tooltip, so you can just hover over it and I'll tell you whether they're healthy or whatever. You can do it with the bar. Again, it might be a little easier if I zoom in a little bit. Bar, you can do a bar hover, so you won't see it unless you actually hover over, move your mouse over it. Same thing with the enemy. You can do the same thing with the actual enemy. I like the dots because they're not too distracting. Tooltip, show enemy effects. Tooltip, yeah, that sounds good. So show eye health. I like the dots because it doesn't take up a lot of room. There, it's not too distracting. So that's just some of the options you can do it. Alright, so now that was the other bat's turn, so he flies by and tries to take a nip out of Czar there. And we'll go to the next creature here. So it's tainted bat number 3. Oh, that was tainted bat number 3. Alright, so we'll just adjust this to 21 for our... So now it's tainted bat number 2's turn. There we go. So tainted bat number 2, he's just going to do the same thing. Come flying by, try to take a bite out of our Drow there and see if it gets an attack, or see if it gets a hit actually this time. And again, I'm just going to take the dice and kind of drop it on her. 9 plus 6 is 15, still a miss. So all 3 bats come flying in and had done a miss. And now it's Shirva's turn. So Shirva here is, let's see what she can do. Let's take a look. Alright, so she's got Armor of the Winter's Grasp. I have no idea what that does, but all we have to do is click Close Burst 1. Each target in the burst. Charisma versus Fortitude. Hit 2d6 plus Charisma modifier. Cold damage and the target is slowed. Half damage if you miss, and you gain a +2 power bonus to Armor class and Fortitude until the end of the encounter. So, yep, we will do this. So, the first thing we need to actually do here is, we'll just close that down, is it's going to be Close Burst 1. So she needs to get into this position here-ish. Close Burst 1. Yeah, there's no way to get them all, so she'll just come down the stairs, come around, and maybe from here, and do some acrobatic check to get to that position. We'll just assume that's fine. Alright, so now what she wants to do is she wants to target all of her enemies. So we can actually hold shift down and target both of them. I believe we can see this if we open up her screen here. So you can minimize the rest of this stuff down so it's a little easier to see. There we go. So targeting. So target, she can target bat number 1 and bat number 2. So she could just simply take these bats and drag them down here. Yes? No? Let's see. Oh, nope. I didn't want to do that. Let's delete that item. I know the target. Oh, there we go. We can target. Drag onto new target. So we're going to target bat number 2. And we're going to target bat number 1. So with our Close Burst 1, you can actually see the targeting there. For some reason, I have a little issue with targeting it. And I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I'll have to figure that out. But now you can see that I've targeted it. And so now all I have to do is roll my attack, which happens to be underneath here now. So let's see how this attack works out. So I can simply just double click to attack everybody that has been targeted. And you can see it's rolled 2 dice. And it's telling me I rolled a 6 plus 5 is an 11. So Armor of Winter Gas versus Fortitude misses bat number 1. And it hits bat number 2. So now I know that I can do this. You will notice that it's missed target number, bat number 1, it missed. So you see that bat number 1 is no longer targeted. So what I could do is simply just take this, double click, it'll roll my attack dice. Oh wow, look at that. 1 and a 1. Armor of Winter's Grass type cold. And it actually killed the bat, but let's assume it didn't kill the bat. We would get, and the target is slowed, save ends. So we can simply bring that up here to show that he is now slowed and that a save will end it, and it shows an effect for the bat. Unfortunately, the bat has died, Bat number 1 that was missed by the attack won't actually take half damage because it is a minion, and you can't damage a minion with a missed attack. So now I get a power bonus of +2 to armor class and fortitude. So I need to give that to myself until the end of the encounter. Boop. +2 armor class, power, fortitude to power. And let's see if that's actually adjusted it. Here we go. So we've applied slow to bat number 2, and now we've added an effect, armor class 2 power, fort 2 power to Shiva. If we look at our character sheet, let's see if it actually will show us that information on our sheet somewhere. Well, that's the wrong character anyways. No, it's not. It's Shiva. That's right. Okay. Visible to all. On. Skip. Inactive. Active. So let's see your character sheet and see if it shows us any difference when we... Inactive. No, it doesn't actually. Okay. So it is, I'm just trying to figure this out myself because I've never actually done that until the end of the encounter. So there's no save there. Drag on to a new target. Okay, I think her turn is done. So Close Burst 1, you can simply, if you're a player here, and let's see if when we get to our next player here, we'll go to the next player, who happens to be Zara. And I'm not oh, you heard the little ding. That was to let us know, hey, hello, wake up. It's her turn. Alright, so Zara here, let's see what she's got. So let's go over to the player who's playing Zara and see what she does. So just kind of analyzing what's going on here. Sees her ally here targeting. She's just got the one bat targeted now. In fact, I should you should be able to turn news, clear the targets. Yeah, see, I don't know why, but for some reason I have to figure out if there's shortcut keys for that. Don't know yet. Sorry, don't know. Maybe you can do it this way. I mean, there's lots of ways to do things. I can just untarget the bat here by doing that. So there's lots of ways to do things. Anywho, Zara's now up. Let's see what Zara wants to do. Let's look at our player thing here. Here we go. So he's analyzing the situation. He brings up his character sheet, decides what he should do here. So he's got action points to spend, second wind, disruptive shot. So, and you choose the target to either be immobilized or dazed. Yeah, not that important to do with these kind of wimpy little bats. So we will do an aimed shot. Let's see what an aimed shot does. Make a range basic attack with a weapon. Ignore the penalty attack rolls imposed by partial cover or concealment. Yada yada yada. In addition, the penalty attack rolls imposed by the superior cover and total concealment is no worse than +2. Alright, so that's something to keep in mind. Rapid shot. Let's see what rapid shot does. You make a basic attack with a melee weapon against each creature in or adjacent to a square within the attack range. Take a -2 a penalty to the attack rolls. So what she's going to do is she's going to target this space right here, and that way she'll be able to shoot at both of them, but she's going to take a -2 penalty to her attack rolls. So what I can do is come down here to the modifier, and I wonder, can I actually drag that down to the modifier? -2. So there we go. So now I've given myself a global -2 to my attack, because I'm going to be using rapid shot. In fact, when I double click this, watch what happens. It actually gives the power here, so you can let everybody know what you're doing down here in the chat window. Just double click, pops it up. Okay, so I'm getting a -2 to my attacks. So first attack, I'm going to be using a ranged basic attack. Let's take a look at this. So again, one weapon versus dexterity modifier. Oops. So where is it? Nope, I didn't target somebody. So can I actually? There we go. Sorry about that. Range basic attack. We'll just try that again and roll it. And we got us a. You can see on his screen and on our screen it went. He actually went and got a 12 total and missed that bat. He is then going to take another shot at this other bat over here. Drag it over there. And yes, the modifier only applies to the attack roll, your next attack roll. So you can actually, oops, we would have to go in and adjust that every time. So one of the cool things you can do is, let's show you. Lots of cool things, obviously, because I keep saying that over and over again. But you notice down here at the bottom all of these little hotkeys. So basically what we can do is we can say, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to use my range basic attack quite a bit. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to drag it down here. And now it's down here in my window. And of course I can edit it. So I'm just going to say, no, I don't mean to roll it. I want to edit it. Thank you. There we go. Alright, so we're just going to call this ranged basic attack. Right? And then, of course, we want to have a ranged damage here. So just drag that down here. And edit that as well. Ranged basic 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 damage. There we go. And then we could have the same thing here, but what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. Oops, not what I meant to do. I meant to edit it again. Nope. Edit. Okay, what I want to do is do something clever here. So when we do our aim, is it aim shot? Yes. No, that's not the one. We want the rapid shot, right? Rapid shot. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our basic attack again down here. And I'm going to give us a -2 penalty to the attack roll. Right? So let's see if that actually works. So this time I will click it because I do want to see what happens. Nope. Alright. So, but okay. It will give me the -2. Okay, good. Alright. So when I'm using my rapid shot, I'm figuring this out as we go here. So I'm going to give myself a -2, and then I just click on the basic attack. And you can see that it has adjusted my attack with my rapid shot here. So we're going to call this back up. Come on. For some reason it doesn't like going back. Edit. A little weird, but okay, so we're going to have rapid shot -2. There we go. So now I'm setting myself all up, and you can see there is 12 of these here, but you can also hit the shift and do shift 1 through 12. You can also do control 1 through 12. You can also do alt 1 through 12. So there's lots of options for you to set up shortcut keys for your attacks. Let's see what else we have that we could set up here. That's rapid shot. What is clever shot? Basic attack with weapon. If the attack hits, the target is also subject to one of the following effects of your choice. You slide the target 2 spaces. The target falls prone. The target is slowed. Save ends. Okay, let's try and get fancy here. Let's see if we can actually do this. Target is slowed, so we'll put that one down here and edit it maybe. Come on. So let's say I decide to use my clever shot and I want to slow somebody. So, okay, so I use my attack. Let's say I end up hitting this guy. This is bat number 2. Oh, it already shows us slowed. So bat number 3. We'll target bat number 3. And we'll drag our little slowed on it. And now, there we go. If we look at our combat tracker, oh, that's too cool. That is so cool. If we look at our combat tracker, bat number 3 is save. There we go. Actually, was it a save? I can't remember. Save ends probably. Yep, save end. All right. Or slide the target up to 2 spaces, which of course that wouldn't be one you'd put down here to have it adjust the target. You'd have to do that yourself. And target falls prone. We could do the same thing with prone. Let's take a look at that. Edit it. Thank you. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Probably what we should do is say it is a ranged attack, fall, clever shot, clever fall prone. There we go. Alright, something like that. That's too cool. Alright, so now we ended up rolling our dice here. Let's do our basic attack. We're going to do rapid shot. See how quickly, now that we've got this all set up, it's our turn. We don't even need, we can look at our character sheet if we want. See if there's any other powers. We go, nah, we just want to do our basic attack. We are going to try rapid shot. So what we'll do is cause a rapid shot. So we're at -2. We will do our basic attack. I just wanted to bring this over here and drop it on the bat. There we go. So we end up missing that bat. And now let's try our second attack at the other one over there. And we actually got a hit on that one, but I didn't use my rapid shot. I had to have done that, and then my basic attack. There we go. So like I said, main thing about this is just figuring the game out, figuring out the program, and understand what it can do. And once you do that, you're good to go. What is this red little dot there? Hey, she's spinning on her head. Not sure what that little red dot represents. Wish I could be more help there, but obviously not. So combat-wise, let's go back to our tracker here. So your turn is done. Maybe that red dot... No, because I can see a red dot there too now. And she's got a blue dot. Anywho, combat tracker. Let's go to the next... Back up to the Shadow Stalker. We're just going to ignore the Shadow Stalkers for right now. No, you know what? Let's just go back up and see what the Shadow Stalker can do. So we need to obviously zoom around our map here and see what we have. Shadow Stalker number 1, which is this guy here. Shadowy Touch, +6 versus Reflex, 1d8 plus Necrotic. Shadow Step, what is that? Shall we look? Stalker can make a stealth check to become hidden when it has concealment instead of needing total concealment. Shadow Stalk, that's her attack. Shadow Step. Creature living within 5 squares, the Stalker drops to 0 hit points or fewer. Okay, so this is interesting. So it actually is going to move into her... moves right into her space there. We'll just kind of keep them separated just a little bit there. And she's going to try a... 1d8 versus Reflex. We will drop that on Sherva there. Rolled a 16 plus 6. That is a hit. So on a hit, we do 1d6 plus 8 damage. There we go. Oh, she's bloodied. And the Stalker shifts into the target space and melds into the shadow. Oh, so it would have actually done that now. We're melding in there. So melds with the shadow save and. So that's going to be interesting. Can we... Okay, so when it gains a +4 bonus to all defenses and a +5 bonus to attack rolls against the target. So nice. So +4 bonus to all defenses and a +5 bonus. So that's going to give him against the target. So in this case, the target is... Wonder, can I... Target. We will target her. So let's do an attack from Sherva to Shadow Stalker 1 and see if that automatically applied, which is going to be awesome. So let's see, Sherva here. Let's just do an attack. Doesn't matter, just a melee attack, I guess, is fine. Let's try a melee basic attack against the Shadow Stalker. Let's see if she gets a penalty to her attack roll. Oh yeah, right there. Minus... A defender gets +4 to your attack. So it is a target defense attack. Shadow Stalker 1 attack. Attack is +5 with the Shadow Stalker. Defense effects +4. So that ends up being a miss. Yep, and it's auto calculated in there. That is really cool how they've taken a lot of the 4th edition stuff and just implemented it into it so it's easy to keep track of. Of course, as a DM, you wouldn't have to keep track of all the different players and do their actions and look up their powers and everything. That's all stuff they would be doing, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. And of course, combat would play out a lot faster that way if you don't have to actually manage it, manipulate it yourself. Cool things that I definitely really like are the fact that if I bring up my character sheet here, this one here, I can say, okay, I'm going to do this power here. It gives me the information so the DM can see it. He knows what I'm going to be doing. And then, of course, if I have to make any adjustments or anything, hopefully you're communicating with your DM through chat or voice communication or something. And when you do that, then you can do your attacks and have all kinds of different things happen in the combat system. So just learning a lot more as I was playing through this, just to try and set up different things, because I didn't want people going, well, can you do this? Can you do that? Because now we know what you can do. Lots of cool things you can do. Basically, take your attacks, hotkey them to the different bars. You can take your different powers. You could probably even set up, like, for example, if you do perception checks a lot. Here's perception. I wonder, can we actually take perception? Check. Yep, there we go. Okay, drag that down. Yeah, if you were, let's go back to the player here. So the player can say, all right, if the DM is using a lot of perception checks, I'm going to take my dice and bring it down here and skill perception. Anytime I want, I can just roll it from down. Don't have to bring up my sheet a lot that way. So maybe what I would do is put a shift, and I would put all of my important skills in my shift keys. Maybe what I would do is put my powers, my at-wills, probably in the regular 1 through 12. My encounter powers I might put in the control. And maybe my daily powers I would put in the alt keys, maybe? Or maybe I would put both encounters and daily powers in the controls, because you're probably not going to have more than 12 of those. So that would be a good use of that. Put my skills in the other one. What else do you make a lot of... Oh, you would need a saving throw. So we could add the saving throw here, put that in number 12. So anytime you need to make a save, just click the button, boom, save. Wow, that is really cool. One thing that I must say about this is it's definitely, the software is definitely more incorporated into the rule set and gives you options to adjust and make alterations, make additions, be able to see what's going on, as opposed to some of the other virtual tabletops out there. If you want to actually, as I was saying in the beginning when I first episode of Fantasy Grounds, and we're talking about the differences, this feels very different than Roll20. So it plays differently. There's probably a little bit more of a learning curve on this one than there is on the Roll20, but there seems to be a lot more options in this one. So I think we'll bring this episode to a close here of Fantasy Grounds. We'll come back for one more episode as we continue our look through the virtual tabletops out there, and what is your options you can use for creating things and being able to play your favorite role-playing games online. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, folks.